Have you ever cleaned out a cluttered room, only to find something you never knew existed? That's exactly what happened to a woman in her 30s, who was cleaning out her late grandmother's house. But what she found was far more sinister than just a hidden object. In today's video, we will look at the story of a woman who found a secret room in her grandmother's house. It all started when the woman and her family were clearing out her grandmother's house after she passed away. Her grandmother had passed away peacefully in her sleep. And although they were sad to see her go, they were also excited to start a new chapter in their lives. Her grandmother was a hoarder, so the house was filled with all sorts of objects, most of which hadn't been used in decades. The woman and her family spent weeks going through every room of the house, getting rid of anything that would be useful, but also finding some strange things along the way. One day, the woman was cleaning out her grandmother's bedroom when she came across a wardrobe that was covered in so much dust she could barely make out the carvings on the wood. As she wiped off the top of the wardrobe, she felt something hard under her fingers. She looked closely and realized it was a keyhole. She didn't remember seeing a keyhole here before, nor did she remember this wardrobe having a lock. She rummed family heirloom, but no one seemed to know where it unlocked. They checked every other wardrobe and drawer in the house, but couldn't find a match. Just when they were about to give up, the woman decided to check one last place, the attic. The attic was filled with cobwebs and old furniture. The woman had been there many times before and never noticed a door in the far corner. The door was covered in cobwebs and looked like it hadn't been opened in decades. She walked over and pushed it open, revealing a set of stairs that led down into darkness. The woman called down the stairs to see if anyone was there, but only heard an echo. Holding her breath, she slowly descended the stairs. At the bottom, she flicked on the light switch, revealing a room unlike any she had ever seen before. It was a child's bedroom. There was a crib in the corner and a rocking horse in the middle of the room. On the wall was a set of shelves filled with children's books. The room was dusty, but it seemed as though everything was in its place. It looked like the room had been abandoned years ago, but no one had ever taken these things out. As she explored the room, she noticed a door at the far end. She walked towards it and reached out to knock, but then she heard a voice. Someone was humming softly on the other side of the door. Shaken but curious, the woman knocked on the door. She waited, but there was no answer. She knocked again, louder this time, and the humming stopped. She heard footsteps inside the room, and the doorknob started to turn. The woman took a step back, not wanting to be seen. She hid in the corner as the door opened, and a man's face appeared. He looked at her in surprise and asked, "Who are you?" The woman explained that she had found the room by accident and meant no harm. The man looked at her for a moment, then closed the door. The woman could hear him talking to someone inside the room. She couldn't make out what he was saying, but it sounded like he was explaining the situation. After a few minutes, the door opened again, and the man stepped out. He apologized for startling her and explained that he lived in the house next door. He had been using this room as storage for the past few years and hadn't realized that the door had been locked from this side. He thanked her for finding the door and offered to help her with anything she needed. The woman declined his offer, but as she turned to leave, she noticed something in his eyes. He wasn't just a nosy neighbor. There was something dark and dangerous about him that she couldn't quite put her finger on. The woman hurried out of the room and down the stairs. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest. What was that man doing in a secret room in her grandmother's house? And why had he been hiding in there? She made her way downstairs. She knew that she would never forget this day. She'd stumbled upon something she was unsupposed to see, and she had no idea what it meant. From that day forward, the woman and her family never forgot about the secret room. They searched for answers, but they were never able to find out what the room was used for or who had been living in there. To this day, the room remains locked, and the only sound that can be heard from behind the door is the faint humming of a lullaby.